Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the offices of Hold My Nuggets Incorporated. I am your host, your founder, and your CEO, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. And I've come here to deduce exactly what the hell are these calls in the NFL throughout the first week of the season through the fourth week of the season. However, first we must give a disclaimer for the individuals who came here for the coitus orgy. You are in the wrong studio. I have no sort of coitus in the Hold My Nuggets Incorporated studio. We have that going on in the Asian sex dungeon down the street. So Susan, please, you'll be waiting for me over there. As for Bill, I understand you came over here fully dressed. You need to go to that set location. Now, let's get into the football because we're not here to talk about harlots and coitus. Number one, we have these terrible calls being done in the first week of the NFL. Let's first analyze what's been going on. But in week one, there was a series of catches, namely Julio Jones, Rob Gronkowski, and those need to be analyzed. So here's the footage right here for you.
Jones going to get underneath it. Julio Jones covered by Jalen Mills, but he's out of bounds.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It's an incomplete pass. Atlanta will be charged a timeout, and they have one challenge remaining.
This was going to be ruled a catch.
I really agree, Al. This looks like a definitive angle. He pins the ball to his shoulder right there in bounds. There's no movement at all after he does that.
As you can see, Julio Jones clearly had possession of the ball prior to sliding out of bounds. If you look very closely, you'll also be able to notice it's a very astute observation, I might add. This play was reviewed and the referee still decided to stick with the call they originally made, being incomplete. Now, allow me to present you with Exhibit B. In fact, the exact same week, in week one, Rob Gronkowski had himself a controversial catch. Take a look at the footage.
All kinds of time down the field. And does he have it? Gronkowski looked to have it and was down. Brady's going to try to run to the line before anybody can look at it. Oh my gosh! Is this a catch? Houston might want to call a timeout before Brady snaps it. Houston would have wisely called a timeout, and they might have won a challenge. Oh, now the ball's out, falling on by Hogan.
What's mind-boggling to me is that there is under 2 minutes remaining in the half, so there is no way for the Houston Texans nor Bill O'Brien to throw that beautiful red period-colored challenge flag to challenge the catch on the field. Everything must run through booth review. However, it's odd to me that the referees did not decide to invoke their privilege there and call for a booth review on what looked to be a controversial catch. In fact, they allowed Tom Brady to run to the line and snap the ball, thus eliminating the chance for this play to go to review. Not only did they end up having a fumble on the following play, this is a catch in which the referees can see he did not have possession. Not only did he not have possession, the ball made contact with the floor and he was able to gain possession of the ball according to the referees because the floor helped him and he had possession prior to it, which makes no sense. It's a complete oxymoronic statement to what happened on Thursday of that exact same week. So you're telling me the Julio Jones catch is not a catch, but this Gronkowski catch is a catch? Doesn't make any sense to me. Who are these referees? Did you get them from Foot Locker? Did you buy them from RenterRef.com? Are their eyes just for decoration? I have a very astute observation myself. I believe they are just for decoration. What's the matter with these refs? Must I review what the hell a catch is in the NFL? I've already done that. Get your eyes screwed on straight for the remaining 12 weeks of the damn season, you big dummies. You big dummy! Pardon me, my emotions got the best of me. But prior to me getting to this point, I did state there were 12 weeks remaining in the season. That is not accurate. In fact, there is 13 weeks remaining in the season because there are 7 weeks in the regular season, saying that there was 12 weeks remaining. What about the teams that went on a bye week? Obviously, they had their bye, so they do have 12 weeks remaining in the season. But those teams that didn't, are they not going to get a bye week? Why don't they get to rest? What is the issue with you, Mr. Chiseled Adonis? But I'm not talking to myself right here. I'm talking to you guys. Let's advance in the rest of what happened in week 1. There was also a situation in which Drew Brees' Jesus connected with Michael Thomas. He caught a reception for 5 yards. However, the referees called him down by contact when in fact he wasn't touched at all. This was not a situation similar to what happened in week 3 between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, where Chris Godwin caught the ball and then his foot rubbed against the shoulder pads of, I believe it was either Hilton or Davis. Whatever the case was, they didn't mark him down by contact. He ran into the end zone. They reviewed it. Turns out they called it back. This particular play, they ruled it down by contact, yet yet Michael Thomas was never touched. Take a look at the play.
That produces a touchdown.
It's a huge possession for the Saints offense right here.
Kamara is in, and Breeze slips a tackle and completes to Michael Thomas at the 30. And it looked like he was not touched by a Buccaneer, but the official is ruling him down. I think the official is going to rule that he gave himself up, but he was center. Dean, what did you see on that play?
Yeah, well, I didn't see the receiver touched, and it didn't look like he gave himself up. But that's one of the things that was ruled. They either ruled down by contact or that he gave himself up. And at that point, it's over. The whistle is blown. Nothing you can do there, but it didn't look like he was down.
As you can see in the footage, this man Michael Thomas was untouched like a nun's vagina. He was untouched like a pair of genitals on a quadriplegic. Why would they mark him down by contact? It makes absolutely no sense to me. On top of that, it is not a reviewable play, as you heard Dean Blandino say. I don't understand what the deal is with these NFLs and their eyes being just for decoration. These damn refs, they need to go. However, in that exact same game, we'll be touching on a roughing the passer call, which was absolutely atrocious, in which they said this man put his weight on the passer, which at that time was Ryan Fitzmagic, because he had the magic during week 1 and week 2 and also week 3. However, that fizzled out, but we're talking about what happened in the past. So Ryan Fitzmagic Patrick went for the pass. He got hit, and they said they dropped his body weight on him, but the entire body was to the left. Ryan Fitzpatrick Magic's body was on the right, but there was no sort of contact between both bodies outside of when they hit each other for the damn sack. Look at the footage.
I think it's actually on Davenport 92. That wasn't, yeah.
Right there.
And I don't know what it was. His helmet's off to the side.
What the hell is he supposed to do? Is he Magneto? Is there a way for this man to stop himself from contacting the floor, let alone falling on Ryan Fitzpatrick, when in this case he did not even fall on Ryan Fitzpatrick? There's no sort of power that this man can just and stop himself from touching the floor. Makes no sense. Moving on to another roughing the passer call on the week 1 as well. And we ain't talking about Clay Matthews because that happened in week 2. In week 1, he actually got a roughing the passer call that was warranted because, he clotheslined Mitch Trubisky. We ain't talking about the clothesline right now. What we're talking about is what happened out in the dog pound, out in Cleveland, where Ben Roethlisberger on their touchdown drive was basically throwing the ball out of bounds and targeting AB, yet there was a roughing the passer call on Mr. Myles Garrett, in which they said he dropped his body weight on Big Ben. Look at the footage.
Into a field goal attempt. Now they're going to get 1st and goal.
Yeah, that's one of the new rules. Taking your body weight and landing on top of the quarterback. And he just got a little bit too over-aggressive here. He's got to let him go and turn to the side.
Now, me being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, a lot of people would say, we're a beneficiary of this call. We should be ecstatic that we're able to extend the drive in which James Conner did go into the end zone. But being a football fan, I found this call absolutely atrocious. Let me put my doggone shades back on. Basically, what the hell you expect Myles Garrett to do? He was already running with Ben. Ben was the individual in which dropped his body and then turned his shoulder. There is nothing Myles Garrett can do. This was a bullpucky call, and it should have never been called. Pittsburgh should have kicked the field goal that changes the aspect of the entire game. However, in this exact same play, not only would the Browns be fucked, the Steelers would be royally fucked as well, as we have a punt freaking return that was going to the Browns, in which it hit off the rookie Mr. I'm not hungry, I don't want no grub, call me Nick Chubb, and it hit off his goddamn face mask. Look at the damn replay.
In the 4th quarter, with 8 minutes remaining, the Steelers were up 21-7 and punted the ball away. Before the ball got to the Browns returner, it bounced off Cleveland running back Nick Chubb's helmet and was recovered by Steelers safety Sean Davis. But officials ruled that it was the Browns' ball. When the officials on the field ruled that the ball didn't touch a Browns player, Mike Tomlin challenged the call. Despite ample video evidence that there was indeed contact with a Browns player before Davis recovered the football, the VP of officiating decided not to overturn the ruling. Instead of receiving the ball at midfield, the Steelers had to defend another drive by the Browns and lost a timeout due to the failed challenge. This call, the referees affected the final results of the game.
Which Would you believe the refs said the ball never touched this man? Let's just put this in perspective. Let's just imagine the ball that was the football that day was the nutsack of an invisible man that nobody can see. It teabagged the helmet of Chubb. It clearly doinked off his damn face mask. And you're telling me the refs could not see this? Not only was Mike Tomlin furious, not only every Pittsburgh Steelers fan was furious, not only was I furious, any football fan with a working mind was pissed off, because how the hell can't you see the ball bounce off of this man's helmet? Not just in real time, because in real time I understand, but when you're reviewing it in super slow motion, you can't see it hit off somebody's helmet? Are you kidding me? Helen Keller could have saw that. Stevie Wonder could have saw that. Marilyn Monroe could have saw that right now in 2018, and she's in a damn casket taking a damn nerd nap. It's ridiculous. I don't understand what's wrong with your eyes, you big dummies. You big dummy! Finally, on Monday Night Football, let's just revisit what the hell a catch was during week 1 of the NFL, because I showed you the Julio Jones catch. I showed you the Gronk catch. Take a look at this Quincy Enunwa catch.
See who make that catch? Through when that ball touches that ground. Does he possess that ball and control it? And the ruling from our replay official is that he did that. In my opinion, I don't think that was a catch.
So let's just analyze real quick. Julio Jones, incomplete. Rob Gronkowski, complete. Quincy Enunwa, complete. So you're telling me whenever these guys have a football game in which the officials come in here to officiate, it's a judgment call what a catch is, even when you're reviewing it? Makes absolutely no sense to me. Unless in the case of the Patriots, when of course you did not even get a review. But if they were to get a review, judging by the way the Patriots are, you know they would have probably got the completion anyway. But we ain't talking about that right now. It makes no sense to me why there is no concrete rule in which what a catch is. It makes no sense, especially in which you're going and reviewing these calls, because you're watching it in super slow motion. On top of that, you're on the phone with the league at the same time. They're in your ear, up the damn top, in the desk. The people watching from overseas, wherever the hell you want to call them. Well, it's not overseas, obviously, because overseas is out of the damn country. Nobody says, oh, you're across the river, so you're overseas. That's not what we're talking about over here. But you're on the phone with people from New York telling you, giving you their damn judgment, what they think of what the damn play is. You got other people, other officials watching it. You're watching it live on the field. You got the influence of the players, all these other stuff going down, and you're still telling me you can't identify what a catch and what's not a catch? Ridiculous. I had enough of these damn refs. Send them to Foot Locker so they can get fired for terrible goddamn work. If you were to do a performance review on every single one of these refs, it would be at 0. I wouldn't hire you guys in a video game. It's ridiculous. Now, my tie is not blue. Let's move on to week 2. There was only one play that stood out to me in week 2, and it went down out in Green Bay, out in Minnesota. Well, it was a battle between both teams. I believe it was in Green Bay nonetheless. It was the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers, in which Clay Matthews busted through the middle to go try to sack Kirk Cousins. In fact, Kirk Cousins already had thrown the ball. Lo and behold, they called this a roughing the passer call. Look at the damn replay.
But just as Cousins released the ball, Green Bay linebacker Clay Matthews came in with a jarring hit that took them both to the ground. After the near textbook tackle, the referees flagged Matthews for a personal foul. The reason? Allegedly lifting the quarterback in the air and then driving him into the ground. One of the defining characteristics of roughing the passer. Matthews delivered a clean hit to the chest and even threw out his arm to avoid landing with his full body weight on Cousins. There was nothing he could have done differently to make a cleaner tackle on the quarterback.
They called this roughing the passer. How? How, Sway? I don't got the answers. Neither do I, buddy. I can't answer how the hell it's a roughing the passer. It makes no sense. You know what the explanation was? They said because Clay Matthews came in, hit Kirk family member, and then lifted. Did you see any lifts? I saw no taxis on the field. This man did not get lifted at all. It makes no sense. What the hell do you have to do to try to hit a quarterback, let alone a sack? Mind you, Kirk family member already got rid of the ball, but there was that split second in which you can hit the quarterback and there be no flag. Yet, in this case, they say that there was too much contact. He lifted the quarterback and then put his body weight on him. It looked like Kirk family member went to the floor with no sort of body weight dropped on top of him. Where was the lift? I didn't see any lifts. Did you see any lifts? Was there construction on the field? Were there high lifts? that were driving on the field lifting up stuff? No, Clay Matthews did not lift up Kirk family member. This call makes no sense. And to make matters worse, it happened again the very next week. Mr. Clay Matthews done bursted through the middle once again. Let me do the actual movement like I did before. Bursted through the middle again to go try to sack the quarterback. He hit Alex Smith. And let's take a look at what happened.
Second down. Smith is decked. Oh,
Right at you from the right side of your screen. And I want to see, is there helmet contact here? The helmet hits the shoulder. And that's what it is, from the neck up. From the shoulder pads up.
Unlike Kirk family member the week prior, Alex Smith did not get rid of the ball. So Clay Matthews bursted through the middle to go get the sack. He hit Alex Smith. His head hit the shoulder pad, brought him to the floor, and they still call that pass interference. Well, where the hell was he supposed to land? How is he supposed to sack a quarterback if he's bursting through the middle to go make the play? All of a sudden, now you're calling that roughing the passer. It is roughing the passer, dummy, because a sack is literally roughing the passer. This makes no sense. Not in the flag sense. You understand what I'm saying? Figuratively, not literally. But still, it's ridiculous. This should not have been a call. It makes no sense.
I just don't understand it.
To make matters worse, in the exact same game, Daron Payne took Aaron Rodgers and freaking slammed this man into the floor, and there was no flag. It doesn't make any sense. Either you're gonna call it on everybody or you're not. What the hell is the call for roughing the passer? Is it I'm putting weight? Is it I'm not putting weight? This makes no damn sense at all. Evidently, there's no other way to sack a quarterback anymore in the NFL. Telling you gotta turn to the left, you gotta turn to the right, release your body energy. It makes no sense. What am I supposed to put a damn mattress on the field? Is that the way to sack a quarterback? They would still throw a flag on the damn play. I gotta lay you down and put you softly to the ground. It makes no sense to me. What the hell's going on? It don't make no goddamn sense. These are regular sacks and hits in the NFL. Stop throwing flags on it.
I can't take it anymore.
It's one thing to try to protect the quarterbacks. It's another thing to insult the integrity of the game of football. It makes absolutely no sense. That's Roger Goodell calling me right now, telling me, hey buddy, you gotta stop trying to expose the NFL for the issues we got going on. Well, guess what, Roger? I don't care. I've had enough of what's going on in this league. The only way you could sack a quarterback is if you goddamn run a sack race somewhere on a farm in the backwoods of Kentucky. I've had enough. Moving on to week 3. Matter of fact, we're already in week 3. Look at a couple of these other bullshit plays that have been going down.
Beathard played in 7 games, 5 starts a year ago. His first throw is a touchdown. Penalty against Kyle Juszczyk. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, when you're teaching officials on this play, you're asking them to look at the body language of the receiver. Is he seeking out the defender? Is he initiating contact? Is he engaging in a block? Here, he's just running the route, and the defender actually grabs him. He's trying to get into his route. And this is not a pick play. This is a flag that really shouldn't have been called. It's tough in real time. But that's one that they really can't make that call in that situation.
Yeah. Did you see that in Kansas City? Did you see what they just did? How the hell is that offensive PI? In what world is that pass interference? It's not a pick play. The man actually put his hand up trying to see if he can catch the ball. In what world do you call that offensive pass interference? Moreover, the defender grabbed him. What are the refs looking at? What sort of genjutsu are the refs caught in? This is ridiculous. Somebody needs to go to wherever the hell the officials are at and just stand there the entire time for the hour or plus that they go and deliberate before the games and just release, and just keep trying to release whatever genjutsu they keep getting caught in. This is ridiculous. It makes no sense. Take a look at what happened out in Buffalo in the game. Matter of fact, was it Buffalo or was it Minnesota? Wherever the hell it was. It was the Vikings taking on the damn Bills. And take a look at this play, which they called this play in particular a fumble when in fact it's an incomplete pass.
On 1st and goal at the Vikings' 6-yard line, Josh Allen attempted to hand off a pass to Marcus Murphy, but Allen and Murphy botched the timing and the ball bounced off Murphy's chest and became loose on the field. Allen eventually recovered the ball for the Bills on the Vikings' 18-yard line. After deliberation, the officials ruled the play a fumble and not an incomplete pass. Unhappy with the ruling, Bills head coach Sean McDermott threw the challenge flag, but the NFL quickly upheld its initial ruling of a fumble. The Bills lost a timeout and were moved back to the Vikings' 18-yard line for a 2nd and goal. The referees completely missed the mark with this ruling. There is clear evidence that Allen had possession of the ball and moved it forward before the ball came into contact with Murphy. These are all the hallmarks of a forward pass. Despite having ample video footage, the officials apparently did not see Allen's hands or the ball move forward.
Fucking bullshit! Now let's advance from week 3. Week 4 in the NFL. Thursday night football. Rams taking on the Vikings. Funny how the Vikings keep showing up in these damn clips. But nonetheless, we ain't talking about what's going on in Minnesota. Do look down at this play. Todd Gurley, catch and run. 56 yards. But wait, there's a flag on the play. They're gonna call block in the back. But wait! The refs decide to pick up the flag after looking at the replay. Tell me, just look at the replay. Please tell me you did not see a block in the back. I'm just gonna say, I ain't gonna say nothing. You just look at it. Just look at it.
Can you say that you did? Kind of a low blow. Here's Gurley. Spinning catch. Gurley breaking one. Inside the 30. Hughes brings him down inside. Where to put the football as Roger Saffold shoves Sendejo in the back. And that could be where the flag came in. And it is.
There is no foul for nearly the block in the back. First down.
Well, they pick up that flag, and Mike Pereira is with us in the booth. Mike Zimmer can't believe it. Sure looked like a block in the back to me, Mike.
Geez, Joel, I got to say that it is. We saw that when we ran the first replay. You've got contact in the back that pushes him through the action. That is a block in the back, and no question they should not have picked that up.
What world is this not a block in the back? He sent Sendejo into the sidelines looking like a pendejo. This is a damn block in the back. You've got to be kidding me. His fist darn near went through that man's spleen. All right, it's ridiculous. His back freaking bent a little bit. He got to have kyphosis, scoliosis, lumbar stenosis, and lumbar lordosis. And you're telling me you still reviewed this? You looked at it? You deliberated as a bunch of refs, and you still say, you know what? Let's just pick up the flag. While the damn referee had the replay playing on the big screen. It's ridiculous. How do you miss something like this? Moreover, let's look even more into what happened. We're going to stay with the primetime games. Let's go to Monday Night Football. The clock is counting down on a clutch drive for the Kansas City Chiefs. Take a look at the play clock. Just look at the play.
You going to play coverage now, or are you bringing heat?
3rd down and 7.
Running. Oh, he's got him. Tight end.
Wide open. He strikes with that 35-yard play.
You see it right there, Joe. Right before that ball snap, it goes to 0.
Well, our longtime rules expert, Jeff Triplett, can't be challenged, right, Jeff?
That's correct. This can't be challenged. But what you got to understand is the back judge is looking at that play. He looks at the play clock go to 0, his mechanic is, and then look at the snap. So if he felt like the snap was going off, then the play goes.
Delay of game. Delay of game. Did the referee have their controller unplugged? He looked back at the time, proceeded to look forward at Mahomes. Mahomes still did not snap the ball. Does his controller lag? Matter of fact, his controller not even plugged in. Was his game lagging as his controller was unplugged? Are you kidding me? You can't see the clock hit 0? This is a crucial drive. And what happens on this exact same play? They get a big time gain down the field, which should have been nullified by a delay of game. This makes no sense. These refs' eyes are just for a decoration. They keep missing all of these plays. Now let's go to Sunday and look at a couple of these plays that happened on Sunday. Complete atrocious calls from the officials, or I should say calls that were missed by the officials. Let's just look at this Raiders game. Take a look at this first. We're going to look at this fumble that happened. Which Derek vehicle got hit? He fumbled on the play, but they called this forward progression from him and called it a sack. I can't say enough. Just look at the play. Just look at the play.
Carr can't find anyone. Ball comes loose. And this play was blown dead.
Guy again, Myles Garrett, just keeps working on this rush. No place to throw this football. It just continues to fight and fight and fight. And that is a fumble, man. How is his progress stopped there? The ball came out as soon as he got hit. I know they're trying to protect these quarterbacks and give a quick whistle. That is a fumble. This should have been a touchdown for Cleveland. Wow. That ball is out on first contact. They missed that one.
You kidding me? Are you kidding me? This man got touched and the ball immediately hit the floor. He dropped the ball faster than goddamn New Year's in Times Square somewhere in New York City. It don't make no damn sense. How the hell is this not an immediate fumble? Instead, they decide to call the play dead. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Was the mortician on the field? Was the referee one of them motherfuckers who gonna go over here and tell me not to play is over? You gotta be kidding me. It makes no sense. The exact same game they blew the ball dead when Marshawn Lynch had a big time run. And in fact, no, I shouldn't say it was a big time run because it was called down after I think about 6 yards or something like that. But he broke the tackle. You know how beast mode is. He's after the damn contact comes in, he's able to make a play. Sometimes the offensive line come over here. You don't call the play dead when beast mode has the ball. Lo and behold, they decided to do that. I'm not gonna show that play because there were some other atrocious calls in this game. In fact, there was a run by Carlos Hyde, which was a first down, and they called it back. Look at the replay of this play.
Came in the fourth quarter of the Browns-Raiders game. The Browns were up 42-34 with a minute and 41 seconds left in the game. It was 32 when Baker Mayfield handed the ball to Carlos Hyde, who ran the ball 2 yards up the middle. The officials brought the chains onto the field and confirmed that it was in fact a first down. But an official review from NFL headquarters overturned their decision, saying Hyde gained just 1 yard, making it fourth down. The NFL overturned the initial field ruling because they decided Hyde's elbow was down short of the first down marker, even though there was hardly indisputable video evidence. If the original ruling stood, the Browns would have been given a new set of downs and been able to run down the clock to win the game.
This makes no sense. It makes no sense. How can you call this back? It's a clear first down. The game should have been over. Now, we're not even going to keep getting into this because we have already saw atrocious calls that happened. Take a look at this roughing the passer call in this exact same game that they had hit on Baker Mayfield. They called this a roughing the passer.
You tell me at home. I don't know what that is.
19 yards on the reception, tack on 15 more.
That's great.
They call that roughing the passer. They call that roughing the passer. This man didn't even fall. He barely moved. In fact, they gave a fist bump at the end of it, and you still call it roughing the passer? Are you kidding me? If I exhale and the carbon dioxide hits the face mask of the quarterback, is that roughing the passer? If I sneeze and the starting quarterback just happened to sneeze as well, if it was caused by me that led to their sneezing, is that considered roughing the passer? If I had too much to drink before the game and I just like Donovan McNabb and I threw up on the damn field, and then the quarterback just happened to look at me and say, oh, he's throwing up, I'm throwing up as well. Is that considered roughing the passer? This makes absolutely no sense. And you want to understand what makes this even worse? In the same day, Tennessee taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Look what happened to Carson Wentz.
Ball's out. That's a fumble, and the Titans are on it.
And then he gets a sack force fumble right here.
The hit. The loose.
Tennessee hired JBL. This man Carson Wentz got a clothesline from hell, and this was ruled a fumble. There was no flag on the field. There is no consistency amongst the refs in the NFL. This is ridiculous. It makes no sense. Everybody's scratching their head. Nobody understands why these flags are happening. This is only 4 weeks into the season. Something needs to change. If only there was a guy that was analyzing what these terrible calls were in the NFL. Oh, wait a minute. I'm that guy. I had enough of this. I'm going to continue to call out the bullshit from the refs in the NFL. Whether it's on my team, whether it's not on my team, whether it's on your team, whether it's not on your team. This is enough. I've had enough of these terrible calls. All right? This is just a small microcosm of what's been going on. There are so many other calls. You probably see it in the comment section. How'd you forget to call this play? What about this play? You didn't get this play. Well, guess what, buddy? Coming next 4 weeks, you're probably going to see it again, and we're going to be touching on it at the conclusion of week 8. Prior to week 9. This is ridiculous. I've had enough of this. All right. You know who I think is behind it? Nancy. Well, we're not going to get into that, but nonetheless, this was my coverage of the first 4 weeks of the season and these terrible calls coming from these NFL officials. You are live in the studios of Hold My Nuggets Incorporated. Now, I am your host, your founder, your CEO. Let me just compose myself a little bit more. But yeah, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. Now, as you know, my phone rang earlier. I'm gonna try to go get in contact with Roger Goodell and let this man know to hold my nuggets and suck my dick. Fix the goddamn calls, dummy. Back to the shadow realms I'll go.